Okay, so... Right. Okay, because there's no romantic feelings towards the Major. That's not going to connect there,
I
is
must
it?
take a different approach.
Could connect to that.
Is there something
I don't know. And then Major is acting as father figure?
order and method?
That's going to be the one that connects. But he hasn't helped the house financially.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
As much as she tries to deny it, Cassandra shared the Major's feelings in some capacity. Did she? We don't actually have any evidence of that. Other than, you know, he didn't... He was a support to Angeline. There's a connection there, really. Yeah, okay, so push her on why she housed the Major for so long.
Who I allow in my house is none of your business. I do not have to explain anything to you.
I did not think you were one for charity.
I would not expect you to think much of anything. There is no need to talk on it any further, but I'm sure you will remember that, financially speaking, we have had our issues.
I have all the evidence I need to confront Madame Van den Bosch. It's in my approach to the questions that I must consider. She will no doubt be defensive when pushed, but that may be the only way, as she will not give up any information she does not want. And yet you allowed the Major to reside here, even without contributing.
Need I repeat myself, Detective? There is no need to talk any more on the subject. Men and women can remain friends without any romantic involvement. I'm sure you are aware of that.
Yeah.
Your insistent
Go with that.
questioning on such trivial matters are getting on my last nerve. There is a murderer and a blackmailer to be found. That is your job here.
Yes. Okay, so suggestive doesn't work. Kate. His declarations of love meant nothing to you then?
Your continued probing into something that does not exist is becoming quite tiresome. There is nothing I can tell you that will magically present what you are looking for, Detective. I have grown...
Okay. Seems developed since Defense Minister says there was a shared love between you. There's something about your relationship you're obviously refusing to collaborate on. The love letters, the housing.
I have explained this to you all.
Madame, you continue to withhold the truth.
Okay, it's gone red. Have I failed?
And you continue to get on my last nerve. I am not obliged to tell you every detail of my private life.
But when it impedes my investigation...
Believe what you wish. You clearly have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, I did what it said to do.
My personal life has nothing to do with your investigation. I don't know how else it can be said. Keep your nose out of my business.
Oh, so I have to start it again. Ugh. Okay.
Who I allow in my...
Yes, I don't think you're one for charity.
I would not...
Right. Okay, so why is it you protect the name of Monsieur Higgins so resolutely? So suggestive didn't work, so we go forceful.
He was a man that required no protection, Detective. Especially from me.
That is the impression I had of him, which is why your defensive stance warrants questioning.
Your insistent questioning on such trivial matters are getting on my last nerve. There is a murderer and a blackmailer to be found. That is your job here.
So yeah, suggestive. Judging by the Major's words in the letters, it was not only one that he sent. It was not the only one that he sent declaring his love, n'est-ce pas?
How many times do I have to tell you? There was no romantic feelings between us. I have grown weary of this conversation, Poirot. There is nothing more to say.
So yeah. Yeah, so there was a shared love between you because of your defensive nature. That doesn't make any sense.
Madame, you continue to withhold the truth.
And you continue to get on my last nerve. I am not obliged to tell you every detail of my private life.
But when it impedes my investigation...
If only you were this focused on finding the blackmailer and...
Madame.
Very well. I did not lie about how we met. I was attending an event, raising money for... Oh, I cannot recall now. It had been some time since I had returned home. and was rather missing English soil. I was aware of Felix's invitation, or at least that there was to be several British officers attending the party, and that is where our friendship began. He was a warm reminder of home, and I enjoyed conversing with him. We shared walks in the park and read together. As I said, he was a welcome distraction from the days spent alone. I shall go no further with the details, but I will say, I had no intention on being unfaithful to my husband. It was never our plan to go that far. Once I found out I was pregnant, I knew it had to stop.
The Viscount never questioned Mademoiselle's birth?
In his mind, he had no reason to, and he shouldn't have had to. It was my mistake to bear. If he knew the truth, our lives would have been ruined.
Oh wait, so Angeline was Felix's? But I thought from what she was saying that they hadn't done that. Yeah, okay, that it hadn't gotten that far.
I told Felix that he was to stay away, but he had no intention to. He became an uncle figure to Angeline, and they grew closer after Edwin's death.
That's what the blackmail's about.
I could not tell her the truth. Too much time had passed. The secret remained only between him and I. Until now.
And what were the Major's thoughts on revealing the truth?
He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted her to know exactly who he was. But I told him no. It would not have been the poignant reconciliation that he expected. She would not understand.
Can I assume this is the secret that has been used for ransom?
It must be. But I have told no one.
And the Major?
Felix promised me he wouldn't tell a soul, and I believed him. What, even if he wanted to?
If the Major had let slip even once throughout the years, perhaps in an intoxicated state, it is a secret that many would seek an opportunity to gain from.
You did not think anyone knew, and that is why you disregarded the letter.
If you bow to these criminals, they will only try to claw more from you.
Tell me about the letters.
I tried to retrieve them from the safe after everyone had retired last night. But when I opened the safe, they were nowhere to be found. I assumed he must have hidden them somewhere else.
When I entered the study this morning, they were as visible as a red notice on a police station wall.
I would appreciate if you did not compare them to the face of a wanted felon.
Pardon, madame.
But that does mean someone else in the house has seen them. I don't understand. Why would they return them?
A mystery that is still yet to be solved.
Along with all the others. Madame was beaten to the safe by another. It seems we also have a thief within these walls to add to the list of criminals. But a thief that returns their spoils.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains as unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. Hang on, if they're handwritten, why don't we just get everyone to write something by hand? And compare it. 2 cases of extortion under one roof. The question for their relationship must be asked. It has been asked, and it's been answered. The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter? We've just figured it out. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon to... If the correct process... Isn't this something we just had? I should take my leave. This room has already revealed enough new insights into the Madame's and the Major's lives. That's from the study, isn't it? Madame van der Bosch and the Major shared a romantic relationship, but I didn't expect the revelation of his connection to Mademoiselle Angeline. I'm now one of the very few that hold Madame's secrets. Okay, so this one's done. Okay, is there anything else to do? Right, I don't know what else to do, and it's getting a lot later than I normally... A lot longer of a session than I normally do. Right, okay, I should leave. Well, we'll leave and see if something happens. But we have gone on for a longer session than normal. We'll see what happens. Ah. Mr. Sterling, who might advance things. So we'll have a chat with him and see if things do advance.
Detective Poirot, how is your investigation coming?
Monsieur Sterling, I must admit, I have learned much more than I was expecting to.
You'll be wrapping the case up soon, then.
One has never finished learning, monsieur. And in this case, I shall need to continue if I am to find the Major's killer.
I think it was him. I think it was the butler.
It might help to vocalize your thinking. I'm all ears.
Mr. Sterling offers an interesting concept. If I was to state the current position of my investigation while holding back certain truths, the guilty parties may realize I am hot on their heels and reveal their hand.
Monsieur, would you gather the guests and staff in the salon?
Right away, Detective. Can I ask for what reason?
I shall reveal all once everyone is together.
Okay, I've completed chapter 5. We're on to chapter 6. I don't know how many chapters there are. Chapter 6, the search. Okay, so it's not like we're not revealing anything. I don't think. So I think we will put the cut on. Oh no, we've got a cutscene.
Detective, what is the meaning of all this?
Madame, I ask that you all lend me your ears for only a few moments. What I have to say is of great significance to everyone. You are all invited here to celebrate the engagement of Mademoiselle Angeline van den Bosch and Monsieur Gédéon Demire, the coming together of two prevalent families. But the celebrations were short-lived, as Major Felix Egan was found dead in his study by a young servant of the house. It then became my responsibility and obligation as a detective to uncover the truth behind his demise. My initial examination of his study exposed a number of things I did not expect to find. Things I have no desire to divulge at this time, but what I can say is this. It was no simple murder. A letter demanding ransom for a continued silence confirmed this. I am sure some, if not all of you, have heard whispers of a series of blackmails that have plagued the social elite in recent weeks. After hearing of the letters in the Major's study, you may ask if it was him behind the letters. You may further ask if he was preparing his next threat to another unsuspecting victim. It is a question that crossed even my mind. That was until I sought the truth. That in fact it was the Major that had fallen victim to our blackmailer Mystérieux. Last night I spoke with you all, confirmed your whereabouts in the house over the course of the evening, and while I would have expected such questioning to reveal a potential suspect, what I learned was that it could not have been one of you.
What do you mean, not one of us? The man was stabbed. He hardly did that to himself. There is still a killer in the house.
It was not one.
No, monsieur. If you would allow me to finish. It could not have been only one of you. Rather a partnership, in cahoots, if you will. Conversations today have revealed facts that I was not expecting to discover. And although they may have muddied and complicated my investigation, what I must do to bring the guilty parties to justice has become clearer. Those of you that spun stories in an attempt to confuse and derail my investigation have made a grave mistake in underestimating my intelligence. Other detectives may fall for such deception, but I can assure you, Detective Poirot is no such fool. My investigation is far from over, and swift justice shall be dealt to those that have committed such appalling acts and have continued to mislead and lie to protect themselves. Now, I must continue mon enquête, and I shall leave you to consider that you may be beside a cold-hearted killer. Bonsoir. Monsieur Sterling, un moment.
Quite the speech, Detective.
Merci, but it was not made to entertain, more to warn the guilty parties that I am hot on their heels, no matter how clever they believe themselves to be.
Well, if there is anything I can do.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'd like to search the no, there's a matter regarding the contest that we must discuss.
I should have said this morning. I'm sorry.
Monsieur, I am not quite sure you understand the severity of what has happened.
I am well aware, Detective. I just thought she would be able to help.
Would you allow a man with a smoking gun to remove his bullet from a victim's chest?
I suppose not.
I understand that Monsieur Sterling was only trying to help, surely assisting what it could do to for the integrity of my investigation. I wouldn't be surprised if he knew full well and is muddying the waters himself. When you returned to the study last night, did you notice anything different from our previous visit?
Nothing. But I was so preoccupied with the Major. Sorry, Detective. Should I have?
Perhaps it was just my mind playing games again.
Maybe one of the guests got lost and wandered in.
If a guest had taken a wrong turn, finding themselves in the Major's bedroom first, I'm sure they would not have proceeded through the next door unless they were not lost at all. Who has access to the safe?
Master Hagen had a key, obviously, and Lady Vandenbosch.
Monsieur Demire was quite sure Archibald also had a copy of the key. It's not something one would easily forget. Have you seen its contents before?
When requested, aye. If something is required from there when Master Hagen is not around.
Forgive me. If he is not around, how is it you access this safe?
It's not what you think, Detective.
What I think is that you have been trusted with a copy of the key, and you have lied to me about
Yeah,
it.
you've just lied about it.
I only lied because of the trouble I can get into with Lady Vandenbosch.
At this moment, monsieur, you should be more worried about the trouble you shall find yourself in with the law.
Indeed.
I know how it will sound, but I lost my key. I must have set it down somewhere, and it has been tidied away. Master Hagen asked so rarely for me to go in the safe, I didn't think it would be missed.
Monsieur Sterling's story of his lost key strikes me as rather coincidental. The major safe is broken into, with documents ransacked, and letters involving Madame Vandenbosch's secret left out. It's a crime with no apparent purpose. I'd like to search the guests' bedrooms.
Is that really necessary?
The murderer remains at large, and there is still no sign of the weapon. I would say that makes them essential.
Of course. I still just cannot imagine any of them being guilty of his murder.
It may be hard to imagine, but it is the truth. I would like to begin my searches now. Since it is closest, I will start with the west wing.
I may not be back when you return. Here is the key to the other rooms. Please return it when you're done.
Merci. I shall guard it with my life.
First, let us pay the Comtesse a visit. Before I can accuse anyone of any crime, I must be sure if they were working alone or with another. This is a perfect opportunity to find evidence of any collusion and look for the murder weapon. So that's all we have. So, we'll put the cut in there, at long last. And next time we will begin the search, finding more evidence as to the murderer and the blackmailer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.